Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Columbus Wired Quick Hit Pregame Preview. I'm Andy Evans, and here we are for game number 2 of the 2024 season, where the second-ranked Ohio State Buckeyes, who are 1-0 after last weekend's stout win over the Akron Zips, 52-6, welcome in the Western Michigan Broncos, who are 0-1 after a heartbreaking loss in Madison, Wisconsin last weekend by a final score of 28-14. Now, this is only the second meeting between these two schools. The first one 9 years ago, right here in the Horseshoe. PJ Fleck, that's right, the same guy who's at Minnesota, he led Western Michigan into Ohio Stadium, trying to take down Urban Meyer's defending national champs, and it did not happen as the Buckeyes won fairly handily by final score of 38-12. Now, what do we know about today's game? Well, Ohio State is basically about a 38-point favorite. And we're going to find out if maybe Ohio State has to kind of rely on their defense to make things look a little bit better than they actually were. No offense, offense, but you were a little stagnant last week, at least in the beginning. However, Will Howard, you did get things going on, and it wasn't your fault that there were a few drops in the beginning of the game. You finished 61%, 288 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. In defense, Lathan Ransom, yeah, your boy, 27-yard scoop and score. Gabe Powers, your boy from Marysville, the defensive player of the year in the state of Ohio 3 years ago, coming out of Marysville High School, 29-yard pick six. Can they do that again today? I don't know. But is the defense going to maybe be relied upon against Western Michigan's offense? Because Western Michigan's offense returns quite a few people from last year. Quarterback Hayden Wolf, running back Jalen Buckley, as well as several receivers, including Kenneth Womack. However, Womack was ruled out last weekend against Wisconsin with a broken hand, did not play. No word yet, as of now, if he is officially available or not. And no word on whether or not some Buckeyes are available or not. That comes out officially at 5:30. We're at about 4:30 right now. So let's take a look, though, at Western Michigan's offense. As I said, they returned several guys from last year's team, and this was a third-rated overall offense in the MAC, and they were also second in passing yards last year and returning a bunch of guys. Weren't able to really get it done last weekend against the Badgers. In fact, Wolf only threw for, I believe, 144 yards, 141 yards, no touchdowns, had an interception, and he's going to be facing an even stouter defense today. A Buckeye defense, as we all know, was third-rated in the country last year, number 1 in passing yards allowed, and didn't look like they missed a beat in 2 interceptions. And, sorry folks, 2 interceptions and that Lathan Ransom scoop and score. And turnovers were kind of a bane of Ohio State's existence last year. They had only forced 11 all year long. They got 3 against the Zips last weekend. We'll see what they can do today against the Western Michigan Broncos. However, Ohio State's offense, like I said, they were a little plodding at times. A 17-3 halftime lead. Not sure that Buckeye Nation was expecting Ohio State to only be leading that game 17-3. And if you really think about it, you take away those 2 defensive touchdowns, Ohio State wins the game 38-6. So thanks to those 2 defensive touchdowns, it definitely inflated the score. However, it still kept them from beating that 50-point spread. Today, though, this Western Michigan defense, a lot of fifth-year senior transfers. Like I said, they actually, I don't believe I said this. They added 32 new guys to this year's roster, 19 of them on defense, and this was a defense that finished 9th overall in the MAC last year, including dead last against the pass. So they definitely needed some defensive help, and they got some in some fifth-year senior transfers, including linebacker Donald Willis and cornerback Khalil Bilal Cone. I apologize. Bilal Cone. Willis out of Minnesota. Cone out of Indiana State. Both those guys had 10 tackles and 2 pass breakups apiece against the Badgers last weekend. There's also graduate transfer safety Tate Halleck from Michigan State, who came in with 6 tackles and a pass breakup last weekend. And then they also have another fifth-year senior at linebacker. He's not a transfer. He's a straight-up Bronco. Boone Bonema, 9 tackles, 1 for loss. In fact, last weekend, this Western Michigan defense came up with 6 pass breakups, 5 tackles for loss, 3 quarterback hits, and a forced fumble. Now, that's against a Wisconsin offense that has not been exactly prolific the last few years. We know that the Badgers have had their issues on offense, so take that for what it's worth. But let's face it, a MAC team went into a Big Ten school on their turf and put up those kind of defensive numbers. It's going to be interesting to see how Western Michigan responds to that loss. And now they're coming in here in front of 100,000 people in a night game in the Horseshoe. It's going to be a little bit different atmosphere, although we know that Madison gets extremely rowdy. So it'll be interesting to see what Buckeye fans do here in the Horseshoe. Ultimately, I don't think that Western Michigan has the horses to keep up with Ohio State. This offensive line, though, didn't look like they were blocking all that great, especially when it came to the run last weekend against Akron. However, they still ran for 170 yards. I know. It's kind of crazy, right? When I saw the final stat line that they ran for 170 yards against Akron, I said they did. It didn't seem like they ran for 170 yards, but the Buckeyes put up 170. Can they do that today? I don't know. I tell you what, it is a beautiful day, but it is windy right now, and it is going to be pretty chilly here in Central Ohio tonight for kickoff. They're talking about 64 degrees come 7:30. Now, the wind, I mean, we're feeling about a good 15 to 20 mile per hour solid wind, not just gusts. It is solid right now. I don't know if you can see my thinning hair, if it's blowing in the wind. Here, let me see if I can do this for you. Okay. Ooh, yeah, that actually kind of fixed it up. I like it now. Anyways, we'll see what the Buckeyes can do. Might be interesting trying to throw the football. Will Howard, once again, well, there were times that his receivers are dropping the ball. Then again, he was thrown into traffic, but he got things ironed out late. And, of course, the true freshman leads the team. 6 catches, 92 yards, 2 touchdowns. First freshman since 1996 when Michael Wiley did it here against Rice in a 70-7 blowout, has a true freshman in their debut scored 2 touchdowns. And your boy Jeremiah Smith did it just last weekend against Akron. So it'll be fun to see if he can replicate that performance. I am expecting, though, another slow start. Don't be surprised if it's a 7-7 game at the end of the first quarter. I think this offense is still trying to gel. Will Howard, Quinshawn Judkins, Travion, Jeremiah Smith, the offensive line. Let's face it, we got three new, there were 3 new starters last weekend because Donovan Jackson was out. And earlier this week, of course, Ryan Day said that Donovan Jackson was day to day. And once again, we don't know who's available and who's not because the unavailability report has yet to be released. It'll be released around 5:30. So we'll see if Donovan is good to go for today's game. And they're probably going to need him because once again, this Western Michigan defense looks like they came to play some football this year. So it'll be interesting to see what they can do against the Buckeyes. But ultimately, I think that the Buckeyes horses are just too big, too strong, too fast, and I think they're going to win by double digits, but they're not going to cover the 38-point spread. In fact, I've got the Buckeyes scoring 31 points in this game. I know, Andy, you're crazy. Whatever you're on, give it to me. That's probably what you're thinking. Sorry, I got to go with it. Final score, Ohio State 31, Western Michigan 7. So until the post-game recap, folks, enjoy the game. And, Mom, once again, thanks for watching.